Yeah, I just thought, to be honest with you, it was not a very good performance by us. And I take the blame. You know, players looked nervous. They played, it seemed like with fear. And we keep talking, we've been talking about, just going out and playing free and without fear. And look, at the end of the day, if we lose 4-0 or we lose 1-0, it doesn't matter. But go out and play and don't worry about making mistakes. It just seems like tonight, whether it's, we were neck and neck with this team, and it was an important game for us. Whether that was added pressure for us, and we weren't able to play under that pressure, but just overall, not, I can't say that anybody had a good game. And when you have that across your team, it's tough to get a result. Whether, you can say the game was tight, but I expect more from our team. I really do. I thought we had gotten to a point where we can connect passes, and tonight you didn't see that. You didn't see 3-4 passes just to open up the game. We struggled with that. And you got to give them credit. Their press was very good. They put us under a lot of pressure wherever we were trying to play balls forward. They were stopping that forward movement, and we couldn't find the holes. So it was a tough game. In my opinion, that's what I said to the girls, is we picked the worst moment to play our worst game.
In the first half especially, you had a couple of plays where it felt like they were trying to get the ball over the top to Gianna, and a couple times they were just missing.
Yeah.
Was that by design, or was that something that the defense was showing? What did you see from some of the long balls that you were trying to cause?
Yeah, we talked about their press, right, and how they throw almost 4 players high. They defend with 2 in the middle, and they keep 4 back. So it's either finding those pockets in between those 2-4 lines of 4, or going over the top to just make them back up and create more room in the middle, right? So that was by design. We wanted to go early, a little bit more direct, just to create some more space in the middle of the field. And because we have more players in the middle, can we connect passes? But it just seemed like we couldn't find that entry ball. And I thought, like I said, to give them credit, they were very organized. They were communicating. And when they needed a tackle in the middle of the field, they tackled and won the ball. And that's something that we got to do better. We seem to allow the other teams to kind of get a rhythm going with 3, 4, 5 passes, where somewhere along that line we can stop the play by putting a tackle in and winning the ball and turning the ball over and going forward. But yeah, that was by design. We wanted to loosen them up a little bit and create some more space in the middle. On
the goal, what did you see there from your vantage point?
So we're sitting in a mid-block, and ball gets played, and we have, by design, we have Deja pressing their outside back. She was able to quickly find the next pass by Deja, and now that player on the left side of their team was wide open. I thought a rotation to get out to that player was non-existent, and we've talked about that. The house is on fire. Somebody's got to get out, and you got to trust the fact that you're leaving this spot, and somebody's going to occupy that spot from the weak side, right? Somebody's going to come in and tuck in. You go out and pressure the ball. Obviously, there was no pressure on the ball, and the girl picked her head up and played a good ball in. And, our defending in the box has never been great, and that was another example. Free header, back of the net. That's simple as that.
Coach, you spoke about playing freely without fear.
Yeah.
Moving forward, how do you address that?
Yeah, I mean, addressing it, I did just now, saying, look, you're not the players. Their players are not the ones that need to feel the pressure. The one that's going to be, blamed after a loss is not really them, because there's 20 of them, right? Everybody looks at the coach. So let me take the pressure. You guys go out and play free. Play free, and like I said, if you win, great. You lose 4-0, what's the difference between losing 4-0 and losing 1-0? You lost, right? So, but hopefully that gives them the freedom to not be so scared every time they touch the ball, to make a mistake, and to play a little bit more with, confidence and with bravery and going forward. I thought we had too many players playing backwards every time tonight, and you can't do that. You can't do that. You got to threaten. You got to play balls in between lines, and you got to be able to find those players in there and then attack from there. We just didn't do that tonight. But going forward, we gotta make sure that they feel the confidence. And look, I told them, look, we lost the game. We weren't good tonight. Let's put it out of our minds. You have to have a short memory because we got a game coming up next weekend, right? So, and we proved that we can go on the road and get the points. So, I'm hoping that gets their attention, and hopefully they can go out and play with a lot more freedom, with a lot more confidence, just their heads up and being able to connect passes.
Even with the loss tonight, what are the main positive things that you can take away from this game?
To be honest with you, there wasn't a lot of positive tonight. I can just look back at the game and say, we created a few goal-scoring chances, but yeah, we got to be better. I'm not the type of coach that's going to be happy by this tight game and, one goal made the difference. No, they were better than us. They were better than us in terms of connecting, connecting the dots, passing the ball around. They were better than us in their intensity of pressing. They were better than us in, winning duels. In every facet of the game, I felt they were better than us. And that, you can't win a game like that. So I just don't, I don't see anything positive from this game. And that's why we got to have a short memory and say, okay, everyone can have a bad night, but let's forget about it. Let's move on to the next game. And we go back to the drawing board and figure out, okay, watch the film. Where did we go wrong? Why weren't we able to connect some more passes and keep possession and get some rhythm? So that's what we got to do.